Hi, I'm Jim Bendewald. I'm the developer of Phantom Knowledge. It's a step-by-step training program for learning to safely fly the Phantom 2 Vision Plus, the Phantom 3, as well as the Inspire 1, and now the Phantom 4. My background is in training. I've been training people in computer programs for over 20 years. I also have professional experience in photography and videography. DJI and others on YouTube produce a variety of helpful videos, but I find that they leave out the in-between steps. This training will provide the between steps, saving you hours of setup. It will also help to alleviate frustration from terminology. This training will provide a systematic approach to flying safe in a nice flowing, understandable format. The Phantom 4 is a significant upgrade. Now, with a 28-minute battery and flight speed at 45 miles per hour, you can fly further and stay away longer than ever before. With TapFly, it'll be easy to send the Phantom out to a destination. With ActiveTrack, you'll be able to professionally video record someone riding their bicycle or following a vehicle. With the Phantom 4, we still have access to the intelligent navigation controls that were introduced with the Phantom 3 and the Inspire 1. So, is it okay to just take the Phantom out of the box and go fly it? No. Though the Phantom 4 has object detection and avoidance, you can still crash it. Even if you're experienced with multiple other quadcopters, you need to first download the Go app, get acquainted with the app, and install firmware updates for both the Phantom and the controller. In this program, I'll be walking you through these steps and much more. Lesson 1 is a walkthrough for the steps needed to set up the Phantom 4. In Lesson 2, I'll go over the Go app software to prepare you before you take the Phantom out to fly. In Lesson 3, it's about the first flight, in which I'll demonstrate how to do a safe first, second, and third flights. I'll also demonstrate course lock and talk about why you should use it. I recommend that you now take your Phantom out of the box if you haven't already done so, and then follow along. Feel free to pause this video as you need to. I'd like you to find your charger and the cables and assemble it, and then plug in your controller. So you plug that in here and charge the controller up, and when that's done, then use the other end, unplug the controller, use the other end, and plug that into the battery. And that goes in back here. And you're going to do this one at a time. Don't charge both the controller and the battery at the same time, because DJI says that it may overheat the charger. To see how much battery life you have, press the power button once, and this shows how many bars there are, which indicates how much power you have left in the battery. Before we turn everything on, we need to prepare the remote controller and match it up with the screen, which DJI calls the mobile device. To see a list of mobile devices, go to DJI.com, then Phantom 4, and then Specs. Then scroll down and keep on scrolling. Now these are the approved devices. Other mobile devices may work, but these are the ones that we know will work. So for controlling the Phantom 4, I use an authorized iPad mini. I also have an iPad Air. If you should use your phone, don't answer the phone while flying. Be sure to read through the Safety and Guidelines booklet. It offers helpful information. For the wire going to the controller, to the mobile device, you can use your regular wire and tie it up with a tie, but I recommend that you purchase a 12-inch wire from Amazon or your favorite supplier, because it's so much neater and works just perfectly. Well, if you haven't done it yet, it's time to install the DJI Go app onto your mobile device. From your mobile device, go into the Android Play Store or the Apple App Store and search for DJI Go app. It's a free app, so download and run the app. Well, now, I'd like you to open your Phantom 4 Quick Start Guide and go to number 5, which says Prepare the Remote Controller. Notice that you're to have the antennas parallel to each other, like so, not crossed or pointing in some other direction. They are to be parallel to each other. That is important. Now, In order to get your mobile device into the holder, you need to turn the holder up and press the button here on the side, which extends the top. And now we can add the mobile device. In my case, I have the iPad mini, and go ahead and set that in, and then go ahead and clamp it down. And so it's in there nice and tight. And make sure that your wire is also connected from the controller into your mobile device. If you have a small mobile device, such as a phone like this, you're going to take these little clips and pull them down and pop up the top again. You're going to put the phone inside, and the wings, these clips, become the base for holding the mobile device. Now, just for your information, the holder, as far as how high it goes, it will go up so high, and it will not fit an iPad, a full-size iPad. The largest device that it will hold is the iPad Air. The iPad Air is an authorized device, whereas the full-size iPad is not an authorized device. You should now have the mobile device on your controller, and your battery should be all powered up and inside the Phantom. We're going to be powering everything up here, and in order to do that, we need to take the gimbal lock off. So in order to do that, I want you to have the back of the Phantom facing toward your chest. You turn it up, and then you pop off the gimbal lock like so. Now this is also a good time to practice putting the gimbal lock back on. So we're going to turn the camera up. We line up the gimbal lock to the camera and then pop it on each leg like so. And so now it's on there nice and secure again. But we're going to be turning on the Phantom, so I want to take it off. So take the gimbal lock off. Now, when we power up the controller, it's the same sort of action that we use in powering up the Phantom. And what I mean by action is that it's kind of a code. So this is how it goes. So press once, pause, 1, 2, 3. Listen for the little beep, and now it's all on. You can see the lights are on and the controller is turned on. We're going to do the same thing with the Phantom. So we press the power button once, release, and then 1, 2, 3. Now we can see that the Phantom is coming on. Good. So we now have both the controller and the Phantom on. Next we need to turn on the mobile device. So I'm going to turn that on and go into the DJI Go app. Now in my case, I needed to delete the Go app and reinstall it. So you may need to do that. If you just recently installed it, you wouldn't need to do that. But if you had it installed for a different quadcopter, a different version, then likely you would need to delete the icon and then go into the App Store or the Play Store and reinstall the Go app. Okay, now with everything turned on, I'm going to go ahead and go into the Go app. I've got my mobile device turned on and I'm ready to go into the Go app here. And it tells me that I need a firmware update. So I'm going to go ahead and proceed with that. It says slide to update. So if you have a need for a firmware update, it's going to tell you inside the Go app that you need a firmware update. So it tells me I'm currently at 60%. Now the upgrade is completed. It says the upgrade is successful. So I'm going to go ahead and press complete. And now I'll go into the camera. And now it asks me to activate. So I'm going to go ahead and press next to activate. And so this is going to be And I will continue. And I'm going to stay with mode 2. This is one of the things we'll be talking about, is the various modes for controlling the quadcopter. And customizable buttons. Well, these are the C1 and C2 buttons down here. So it's currently set up to camera forward and down, gimbal. We'll talk about all of these things, so I'm just going to go ahead and click on continue. Unit of measure is currently set to metric. I'm going to change it to imperial. And the video output is NTSC, which is the standard for in the United States. If you're in Europe or other parts of the world, your video output may be PAL, so you may want to choose that. I'm currently set up for beginner mode, which limits me to, I believe it's 30 meters in altitude as well as distance. That's fine. We can start off in beginner mode, and we'll be talking about that as well. So I'm going to click on continue, and now I can sign in or create an account. So let's go ahead and do that. So I'm signing in here, and I'm going to go ahead and activate. And my activation is successful. That's great. Now it's telling me I have another firmware to update. I have update firmware to the latest version before flying. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. And I'll go ahead and download now. So you can see that the download is beginning. I'm all the way up to 2%. And it tells me that I have the firmware update is going to include improved download speed for image and video. Number 2, improved motor stopping method, where you pull the left stick to the bottom right corner while pressing the smart return to home button. And number 3, added support for HDMI extension module on the remote controller. So it'll be down and to the right while pressing the return to home button. Alright, I'm at 47%. You can see that these firmware updates do take a few minutes. In the past, with previous versions, it had a fair amount of beeping, but this is pretty quiet. It's also going fairly quickly. In the past, a firmware update would take as much as 20 or 25 minutes. This is going much faster than that. So I'm currently at 88% and 100%. It tells me the aircraft is not connected. Time to reboot. And now it tells me the aircraft is connected. And so now we have the safety tutorial. So I can start the tutorial. So things that we should be doing is flying in good weather, open spaces, avoid obstacles, and avoid power lines. Check your GPS satellite count. This is one of the things we'll be talking about when we get into the Go app and going through all of the various items, including the GPS and satellite count. Check your batteries. Make sure that you've powered up your battery, that it's a nice fresh battery, freshly powered and ready to go. Set the return to home altitude. Again, we'll be talking about this. Make sure that the return to home altitude is higher than any obstacles or trees in the area. I'm going to click on confirm, and now adjust the antennas to the correct angle, make sure that they're nice and parallel, and start flying. Up here in the left corner, it tells me that the firmware has been updated. And now I see aircraft status, overall status, firmware requires another upgrade. So I'm going to click on that. Now the RC requires an upgrade. So the radio controller requires an upgrade. So I'm going to click on that. And so we can see that the radio controller software is now downloading. And that has finished. Go ahead and start to upgrade, so press on the start. And now we do have some beeping. I'm currently at 6%. 67%. Another thing you can see is that this light is blue, indicating that the two are talking to each other. All right, so it says the RC has upgraded to the latest version. Please reboot your radio controller. So I'm currently at version 1.5.80. It's also warning me that beginner mode is active. Wait until the GPS signal is stable before takeoff. So I'm going to go ahead and close here, press the close button, and I'll go ahead and turn off the radio controller. And I'm going to turn the radio controller back on, and I have a signal. Notice in the upper left corner, I'm currently in beginner mode, and it tells me that I cannot take off. So that's as much as I really wanted to talk about for this lesson. This concludes lesson number 1, and we'll be coming back for lesson 2 as we go into the Go app, talking about the various features, the various menus and what they mean, and as well as nomenclature and helping you understand some of the terminology. So look forward to seeing you next time. Thanks.